Hello. Today we're playing around with creating wireframes in ChatGPT. And actually we're doing more than that. We are scoping out a whole project for building an app based on the initial idea. So this phase is usually something that is really time consuming for agencies. And it's also a dilemma because when a client comes with an idea to an agency, the agency needs to estimate how much time it's going to take to build that before they can offer a price for building it. But to be able to estimate how much time it's going to be building it, they need to know exactly what features are going to be in it and all the requirements basically. And that takes a lot of time to define. And it's usually like long workshops with the client before you define what's going to be in the initial MVP product of it. And then, this is just for demonstrating like how quickly you can go from an initial idea to a finished like fully scoped project that the client can sign off on, instead of going back and forth for weeks, in and out of workshops, sitting around thinking a lot. This process is going to be like the heavy lifting of defining the scope initially, and then all you need to do is some retouch. Let's dive into it. All you need in the beginning is a new chat. You'll need to access plugins, and you will have to enable Whimsical diagrams. And once you have that set up, I have this initial prompt chain that we're going to try out today. I've never tried it before, but I developed it yesterday when I was out walking with GPT. So let's go. So for this, I've built a prompt chain, and it's a series of prompts that after we explain our initial idea, we're going to send them one by one and have GPT fill out all of the information that is required for the brief. And the purpose of this is to quickly be able to go from, all right, this is a new idea, to like wireframes, requirements, risk analysis, everything, to be quickly able to estimate what the cost is going to be building that thing. And it won't be perfect, but it will give a great boilerplate to iterate together with the client. Like, do you mean it more like do you mean this? Like, what features do you want to move? And it's like getting you off the ground a lot quicker. And the prompt chain is going to be like this. So we will send the initial idea first, the initial idea and vision. Then we will ask it to define the core features of the idea. We will make high-level user stories. Then we'll proceed to initial wireframing, so the first iteration of wireframes. Then I will ask it to rethink the solution and be more creative, to think outside of the box, and you'll see. After that, we need to simplify and remove unnecessary components. It's so easy to just do too much and introduce too many features in the beginning. This will really focus on the core parts and strip down the unnecessary ones. After that, we'll do a revised wireframes or do the new version. We'll add more details to the UI elements, texts and stuff like this. Buttons and text and stuff like this. After that, we'll decide on define the technology stack. We'll move over to sprint planning. I'm not sure that sprint planning is going to be here in the middle, but anyway, you can swap out the order if you want to try this. Requirements, risk management. It will rethink what are the risks with developing this. Then we'll have the legal and compliance. We'll have the budget and timeline, and final requirements. The final requirements is what we want to land in. It's basically a big document that will give the client a brief of how we have perceived their solution, the wireframes that they can expect it to do, and how much it's going to cost, how long it's going to take, and everything that they can sign up everything that they can sign off on, so we can do the scope really tight, so there are no risks for other features to come into the first initial stage of the project. So everything will be thought out. So the first thing you're going to do, I'll leave this prompt chain in the descriptions. But the first thing you're going to do is, I have the initial idea template here. So you can send this template and then just talk about your idea for a while. And then you can ask GPT to rewrite it in this format. It's going to be like enough for GPT to understand. That's what I did, and I have this initial idea here, which is about an app called Stum that I had a long time ago. That is like aiming to enable any event creator, like yoga, running, whatever it is, to create events and get paid for the event by other users. Something I haven't seen yet, at least in Stockholm. So that's my initial idea, and I sent it here. That's the first thing you're going to do. Send the idea here, and it'll just start writing. But what we're going to do now is follow the process. So we'll ask it to, we will send the next one, which is defining the core features. All right. And what it does now is it's including the core features in the must-haves and in the nice-to-have. So this will give us a good idea of what we're going to introduce early in the sprint and in the next version. So let's go with the next one, which is user stories. So giving it, like having it define all of this is actually having it write a long prompt of what it's going to write the final document about in the end. All right, so it's now giving us user stories for all the must-have features. So as a new user, I want to easily register and create a profile so that I can participate in events that interests me. Anyway, it's giving like a clear definition of what the core features is going to enable the user to do. Let's go to the next one. This will be initial wireframes. So since we have Whimsical activated here, we'll actually be able to wireframe it for us here in the chat. And like this is quite amazing, because wireframes and like coming up to this point has taken me now like 10 minutes. And this is pretty cool, because getting to this point where you go from an initial idea to where you have wireframes, you have the must-haves and nice-to-haves features, that is like a 3-hour-long workshop with the client and the 4 people from the agency sometimes. So getting to this phase in just 15 minutes to get something going quicker, and like this won't be perfect, but it's perfect to iterate from and have the client review instead of like trying to define all of this with the client. So here we go. We have the wireframe. It's not going to be hi-fi wireframes, of course. It's going to be lo-fi wireframes where you have these boxes of each screen and everything. So let's see what it came up with. All right, so we have a home screen here. We got an event discovery feature with a feed of all the events. You can click into an event, and from there you can have a payment gateway and see reviews. You can create an event, set up event, set pricing, payment details, set location, and set the time. Then we need the user profile. You can edit profile. You can see my events. You can see other settings. We'll see the notifications, event alerts, and updates. Great. So the next one is rethink the solution. Review the initial wireframes and user stories. Incorporate unconventional or out-of-the-box ideas to make the solution more effective or unique. GPT can sometimes be a bit vanilla. So we're gonna use it to be a little bit more controversial. And that's the way you get great ideas, right? So now we're gonna see if it can rethink the idea and do something more unconventional, and we'll see if we will go with it or if we're just going to go with the first solution here. I actually noticed that it missed the login screen to create like the user accounts and everything. We'll see if it picks that up later or if we need to just tell it to. All right, so here we have the new, more creative version of the app. You just go to the home screen, and instead of like finding the filter, you will just swipe through events. You can like instantly join, quick pay, blockchain tickets, digital tickets, okay. Then we have the home screen. Then we have another route, which is AR event preview. Interesting. AR walkthrough, VR event experience. Yeah, wow. Voice activated search, voice reviews, and personalized suggestions. I mean, this is all great ideas, but it's okay. Okay, let's stick with the old version. For this idea, we're building an MVP, and we're not gonna include things such as VR and stuff like right now. But it's a fun way to play around with ideas, to ask it to rethink it in unconventional ways, to be more creative. Let's go with the next step. Okay, so the next step will be simplify and remove unnecessary components. It's so easy to just keep on optimizing and come up with new features, but when we're thinking about an MVP, what's really going to be necessary? And here we're going to ask it to examine the solution, identify the features, steps, or elements that can be removed or modified without affecting the core functionality. Let's see. And we'll now have new wireframes. We'll just keep on going with this, even if it doesn't become perfect. I'm just showing you this so you can like try out the prompt. You can change the order of them, but it's more about showing a different way of working with creating an app or a website or whatever it is. So here we have the new wireframes. It's very simple now. We just got the home screen, event discovery, user profile, create events, event details, payment gateways and reviews. Removed is admin dashboard, notification system, community, form chat, event. Yeah, I would say like the community form chat we don't need. Event analysis, personalized recommendation, and admin dashboard. Yeah, all of these features got removed now. Okay. Let's have, we'll show the revised wireframes. That's what it actually did. So we're now going to move over to number 8. And number 8 is creating the UI elements. So list all of the UI elements needed, and we will include the buttons, text fields, drop-downs, and all of the things that are going to be inside each screen. So here it's, we're gonna ask it to visualize this as well in a mind map, probably. All right, so now we have a clear visualization of all the UI elements. The home screen is going to have a search bar, navigation menu. The event discovery is going to have a filter button, event cards, and pagination controls. Then we have the user profile, profile picture, edit profile button, text field, and yeah, so on. You'll see everything here. So the next one will be to choose the technology stack. that we're going to use to develop this. And we'll do this for the front end, back end, and database. And we'll just ask it to go with whatever it thinks suits. Choose what you know will be best. So it's going to choose now, and we'll be moving over to the next one, which is the sprint planning. I think we're gonna move that to the sprint planning to the end, because it doesn't make sense to do it before we have done the final requirements. So after the tech stack, we're going to write out the requirements. After the requirements, we're going to do some risk management. And there's actually one more thing that I would like to add to this, and it's like, what did we miss? I now wrote, like, because I noticed that it missed the login and the registration screen. So review the current solution. Did we miss anything? To make it complete, it should be ready to hand off to developers and designers. Let's see if it catches it or not. So it now wrote a lot of things that we might be missing, like API specifications, database schema, design mockups, user testing plan. All right, I'll just tell it. It missed login and sign up. All right, it's now adding the login and sign up and everything that is needed for that. Let's just continue now. Yeah, we did the requirements last time. Load time, scalability, response time, uptime, security protocol, other constraints, mobile responsiveness. Yeah, looks nice. It could probably be a lot more detailed, but let's go to risk management now. Yeah, so it will now scan the solution and see what we can do to mitigate any risks that we haven't thought of. That is specific to this solution. I think I instructed it to that. Yeah, so it won't be like general. It won't be like general tips of risk mitigation, but it will be specific to this solution. Let's just trust that it knows what it's doing and continue to the next one. Here we got the legal and compliances. The reason I'm doing this is because to be able to write, like, sometimes legal things can change the whole scope and add like a whole new chunk into the project. So we need to define it before we write the final requirements. Then we'll have the final requirements here, and I think we've now done some the legal aspects of it. Yeah, I wrote this prompt now. Write a table of content for the final requirement documents that include everything about the project. So the reason why I'm not saying write the final requirements is because it's going to make it so short. It's like, it doesn't allow you to click continue and make the answer longer now. So you actually need to tell it to write the table of content, what's going to be inside the document before you write it. So the idea of this is it won't be perfect, of course, and like you always need to work with AI, but to go from an initial idea that would have taken hours inside workshops with clients and manual writing and everything, like would have taken at least a week to get to this stage where you have a first version of the scope. So in this document, you'll have everything specified that we have. I don't know why he's writing this in code. but you'll have everything specified. And you can just go through write one now. And you can just go through them one by one. So write. Let's see what it writes now. And like this, we are setting up a document that the client can read through, and we can sign off that we're talking about the same idea here. So yeah, the project overview, STEM is a mobile application designed to simplify and organize the participation of local events, blah, blah, blah. Objectives, to provide user-friendly platform for event creation and discovery, to facilitate easy monetization, and to foster community and engagement through social activities. The scope is to the document covers all aspects of STEM applications, from initial concept and core features to technical requirements and legal considerations. Then we got the target audience, the unique value proposition, and yeah, these are all like things the client can sign off on. So that is just the first one. What you'll then do is, let's see, yeah, what you'll then do is like, yeah, we can do this one. Let's see. And it will do a market analysis and a SWOT analysis and like competitors and stuff like this. Let's see what it comes up with. Yeah, meetup. Like it's coming up with all of these alternative solutions. And now it's doing a SWOT analysis. And we could probably use a plugin like Diagram to do that SWOT analysis in like a visual form as well. And yeah, they were quite general, the recommendations here, but we got the core features. Let's see here. And like this, it's specifying everything that is going to be like inside the app. Let's see what if I just tell it to finish the rest of the document, let's see how far it gets, or if it's going to simplify all the answers really much. Now, we'll see. User stories, it's just bulleting very quickly when I tell it to write the whole thing at once, because it's saving tokens. But if you ask it to actually do it one by one, is going to be much more specific, and you'll land in this giant document that is just describing the whole scope of the project. Right, let's do some sprint planning. Sprint planning. And this needs to be a lot more specific as well. We need to tell it how many like developers, what kind of developers, designers, and everything that we have access to. But it's giving us like what's going to be in the first sprint. Well, it will be like, yeah, create an event discovery screen, implement event creation form, set up database schema for events. Yeah, like it's giving us what's going to be inside like every version of release here. And I'm sure you can do this a lot more specific as well. But it is a really great way to begin. After that, we're going to be having budget and timing. Yeah, I mean, sure, it's going to be the same. So after that was budget and timing. Let's see what it says. It thinks this is going to cost around Yeah, total estimated budget 80,000. I would say like it's kind of correct. Bit high maybe, but it's estimating development cost for 50,000. I would say that's pretty like fair. 10,000 for design, yeah. Operational costs, marketing costs, yeah, you need to get it going. And yeah, I would say like as a total of as a total cost for this is quite accurately estimated, around $80,000. We're going to do it in, all right, so we're going to do it in a total of 5 months. We're going to divide it into 5 sprints that are 2 weeks each, and then it's adding like 4 weeks for possible delays, and then marketing and launch for 4 weeks as well. I'd say this is very like, from my experience, really like accurate. And as I said, this is a base version of the scope that is meant to like ping back and forth with the client, with the developers, with the designers, with everyone in the team that can say like, no, that's gonna take longer or whatever. We need you forgot to put this in there and stuff. But it's a base where you can start from, which speeds up things enormously. And yeah, that's how you create an app or a service or whatever it is, and get going really quickly with the plugin Whimsical and GPT-4. And yeah, so let me know what you think about it, if you found it helpful, or if you would change anything, or if you create anything cool with it. And until next time, bye bye.